Today is an all levels flow. We'll be working with some back bending, some heart opening, but mostly we'll just be moving to connect into our breath and connecting to our bodies. So lying on your back, whether your legs are out extended, or perhaps knees are knocked in, or maybe you found yourself in Supta Baddha Konasana. There's a couple different variations of the legs, and certainly the same amount of variations for the arms. And we're just aiming for some comfort here this morning. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let your belly and your back body press against the mat. Hold at the top just for a count of 2. 1. And open mouth, exhale. Doesn't have to be long, it can kind of be short, just let it go. We're gonna take that 2 more times. Breathing in, the heart lifts, the back body presses on the mat. We pause the top for 2. For 1. Open mouth, release. 1 more round, inhale. Pause. Open mouth. Take your tongue to the roof of your mouth, slightly behind your teeth. Seal your lips. And start to find the breath at the back of your throat. Notice any noise or sound that attaches to this breath. Our ujjayi, centering, warming, the anchor to our practice. And the place where you can let any and all distraction go. And whenever you're lost, wandering through the woods of the mind, you come back to the breath. And it leads you back to your truth, to your presence, and to the place where we are all happy, safe, loved, and worthy. Just 3 more rounds here in this ujjayi breath. Just noticing. Slowly begin to reach your arms overhead. If you had any variation of the legs where you need your hands to draw your knees into your chest, you do that first, but knees into the chest and then point the toes away, reach the arms long, find a full body stretch. And as you exhale, knees into your chest, coil in, round up into that tiny little ball shape. Your eye sockets might come up into your knees. And we'll take that stretch and length 2 more times, extending, pointing toes, reaching fingers. Maybe the low back will lift. And as you exhale, a big hug. Good, 1 more time. This time as you land in your ball shape or your little hug on your back, I want you to think of pressing your shoulders into the floor, finding your low belly, and then extending your tailbone towards the front of the room so your whole back is flat to the mat. And just extend your left leg down, finding the length through the heel as it reaches out of the hip flexor. The leg is long. Keep that left foot active as it lands. Your right knee is still into your chest, and just start with little circles of that right ankle. Moving it in one direction and then the other. Pointing and flexing of the toes. And take your hands behind your knees, extend the right foot up to the sky, flex the foot, and just let the thigh or the back of the leg catch into your bound fingers, your hand, and just sway the leg side to side. Keeping that left hip in its socket, attached to the floor, right hip is still heavy. Then walk your hands up behind your calf, and as you do that, round your spine, head, neck, and shoulders lift up, gaze to your navel to feel like a nice stretch to that right side of your leg. And as you exhale, walk your hands back down, lower head, neck, and shoulders down. Find a bend into the right knee and glide it over to your spinal twist, over to the left side. Your right arm can fall out like a wing. Palms up or palms down, depending on how that feels in your shoulder. And bringing awareness to your spine. Noticing where the tension might be, holding. Good, and come back through center. Left hand guides that right knee back in. Your right hand will come onto the inside of the right knee and just open that hip like a door hinge over to the right, keeping the right foot, left foot flexed. Everything's active in the lower body. Good. Right leg is going to lift, left knee is going to come underneath, so right knee on top of left, and then you might find your eagle leg, so they might double wrap, they might not, might just be a single wrap. Right arm is going to reach up to the sky, left arm swinging underneath. So you're going to come into your eagle on your back, right arm over, left arm under. And it doesn't have to find a double bind of your hands if you don't want to. But I want you to press your elbows and your forearms to the sky to feel that stretch through the back line of your body, through your shoulders. Take your fingertips, tap them behind your head. Take your toes, tap them out, farther away from you. And as you exhale, elbow and knee come in, crunch and round. 2 more, inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale as you release. Releasing the arms, releasing the legs. And we'll start to set that up on the second side. So right leg is down, left knee is down into your chest, pointing and flexing. Circles through this ankle. And just taking this time to listen, to tune into how your body feels. Hands come behind the thigh. Extend the left leg to the sky. Find a flex through the foot. Feel the activity through the leg. And then swaying just a little bit in that hip socket as the leg goes side to side. IT band starts to fire up. And then you walk your hands up behind your calf, just like an inch or 2. And as you do that, head, neck, and shoulders round up, both feet still active. Feel the stretch of the legs. Maybe your right foot floats from the mat this time. Good, and as you lower down, everything softens. Spinal twist, right knee over to the left. Left knee over to the right, rather. Gazing over to your left. Just one more breath on here. Good, and then open the left leg like a door, finding that hip hinge as the outer shin, outer thigh presses into the mat. And then we're gonna come into our eagle on our back. Left leg is gonna cross over your right. Find that double wrap of the ankles if that's accessible here. Much easier to find on your back than standing, that's for sure. And then opposite arm. So I think right arm is under this time, left arm's over. Your body will be able to know if that's not correct. Fingertips tap behind your head, elbows reach to the sky as your heels and toes tap out ahead of you. Keep your core. As you exhale, round, chin into chest, elbows into knees. Good, 2 more. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Last time, breathe in. Exhale. Unwind. And a final squeeze, knees in. Moving into rock and roll, forward and back. Keeping the core engaged, finding some stillness on your sit bones, really good. Finding some stillness maybe on the shoulder blades. Good, we're gonna land in Navasana, our boat pose. So sit bones, find some connection to the floor, moving any flesh away. Hands come behind your knees and your toes just lift. They don't have to lift a lot, they can be at a low hover. You want to find that space of balance on your tailbone. See if you can find your low belly. Both arms are going to reach up overhead. Imagine a beach ball between your arms. Just a basic core, right foot's going to tap down and lift. Left and lift. So it's really just a bending of the knees and lift, toe tap and lift. Good. 4. Keep reaching up through your fingers through your crown. Last 3, 2, last 1, hands come behind your knees. Lift your heart up, find yourself in your fullest Navasana. As you extend your feet, maybe your arms reach out. You should start to be pretty warm here. Deep breath in. Tabletop pose, swing your heels around your hips. So a lot into our hip flexors early. So I want you to take your knees slightly behind your hips. Just press your hips to the floor and find yourself in an upward facing dog. We're gonna find this a couple times. So upward facing dog here. Toes come together, press back into your child's pose. Just 2 more times. Inhale, upward facing. Adjusting your knees, adjusting your feet. Child's pose as you press back. Good, this time as you glide forward, find yourself in your table. Hands right underneath your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. Cat cow, drop your belly and lift your sternum. Keep the pressure through your hands, round your spine, chin into chest. Take that 3 times. Moving with your breath, inhaling to lift. And as you exhale, you round. After you have found 3 of those forward and back linear patterns of this posture, the invitation to add anything else into the torso is there. So barrel rolls, letting the hips soften and then pressing into that round spine. Just think whatever you do on this side, or with these 3 breaths, you're going to want to mirror with 3 on the other. And tune in. If you've lost connection with your breath, if you're starting to think of the future, or a fond memory is latched onto the mind, bringing you to the past. Deep breath in. And come into present with your exhale. Neutral spine. And walk your hands and walk yourself to the back of the mat. So we're gonna find a little bit of hip opening early today too. So this is one of my favorite ways to do it. So right foot is going to extend to the sky. Sole of the foot is pressing. As you exhale, take your right knee into your nose, round. Find that cat shape. Now take your right foot and cross it over your left. Inner thighs come to squeeze. And we just begin to walk up the mat, doing that. Left foot to the sky, left knee into the nose, and then catwalk your way, inner thighs squeeze. Now you can adjust your knees as you need to. Finding what works here for you. If you'd like to add a cow and a cat in between anywhere, that's fine. Making our way to the top of the mat is what we're aiming for. So keep walking your hands, keep walking your knees. And we should land, if we're all doing this together, with our left foot crossing, our left leg crossing in front of our right. So we're gonna sit on back, and the left leg is crossed over your right. So if this is too much, this double knee, I'm gonna turn myself this way. This double knee posture is too much on the outer hips. Just bring that left foot so that it's square to the floor or right on the floor, and the knees lifted into your chest. It's hard to see with this black on black. Maybe if I turn back this way, that knee's lifted, it's not as low. And then I just want you to think, what sit bone is lifted? Most likely it's gonna be that left that's crossed. See if you can bring the sit bone down. Keep reaching your heart up. So rooting down through your tail, but lifting through your crown. Take the right hand, reach it out like a wing. Good. Reach the left hand, reach it out like a wing. Right hand to the sky, left hand to the floor. Find a bend to the right hand. Hand comes to the small of the back or the nape of the neck. And then your left hand reaches up. So you might have a bind here in this cow face. Both fingers connect, or they're not, and they're just reaching. You can still get that same shoulder opener on the left side by just pressing the back of the palm into the spine. And then lift up through your heart. And as you exhale, round, take your chin into your chest. 3 breaths. Think about your side body. Good. Lift your chin away from your chest so that your head, the back of your head and your right forearm are still connected. And then reach your right arm to the sky. Take the right fingers down by your side. As you release your left arm, reach it up and over, getting that side extension. Good. And then come back through center, release both feet, easy enough. We're on our seat, both feet to the front of the room. We'll take a nice forward fold here, both arms reach up. Slight bend in the knees. So I would imagine if you could slide a block under your knees. I don't want you to try to connect the bottom of your knees to the floor. Find that slight bend, it's early. Lengthen out of your tailbone. Keep reaching. Maybe your hands come down outside of your legs. Maybe they come right onto your thighs. Just a little bit. Heart still reaching forward. Feel that through the low back, the outer edges. Good. Walk yourself back up. Left foot's gonna come under. Right foot's gonna go over. So I know that one of my hips is unable to find that deep posture on the second side. So I'm going right to that right leg kind of lifted off of my left. And if the double bend is too much, always extend the leg out straight, that's fine. So we'll start with the cow face. So this is double cow, or full cow face. Both arms out like wings. Left arm up to the sky. Right arm down. Find the bend through both of the elbows. Hands might connect, but they might not. 1 breath to lengthen crown. 2 breaths as your chin goes into your chest and you round. Draw your navel into your spine. Good. Lift the chin away from chest. Release the binds. Left hand down, right arm reaches up and over, side bend. Good, coming back up through center. Take your time making your way back into your tabletop. That right knee is gonna swing around. So just flip your hands over so the backs of your hands are on the mat. And you might want to sit your seat onto your heels and just find this stretch just for a moment. Maybe bringing the chin into your chest again, feeling the back line of your shoulders, and imagine your heart bleeding through your back. That part is extending up towards the sky. And then from there, we're just gonna walk our hands up on our knees. Coming into our hero's pose. Find your hands to your heart, and if this is uncomfortable to find seat here, we're only gonna be here for a moment, but you can come down onto regular, comfortable Sukhasana. So taking the time to set intention for your practice. Showing up. Digging deep, even though it's challenging to stay focused. And staying connected, even though there's outside forces trying to disconnect you, trying to distract you. Don't let the ego win. And give the hour to the self. Both arms reach up. I want you to press through your shins to lift your hips off your heels. And as you exhale, lower down. Just 2 more times in breath. And lower down. So I'm on a very thin mat. Last time you take it up, hold. So if you need to take a mat and double it up underneath the knee, or roll them both in and double them up underneath your knees, it's kind of a nice little trick, kind of a little padding. Turn your back toes under so that your heels are pressing. Our dancing camel. Our back bend today is going to be bow, so this is a good prep. Right arm is just going to reach. It doesn't have to touch the ankle. Left arm is going to breathe up by your ear. I want you to spin your torso to the front of the room. Your chin is reaching. And as you exhale, sit your hips onto your heels. Sweep that left hand in front of you. Fingers down by your knees, and then sweep up and open with the right hand. And just finding your dancing camel 2 or 3 times. Maybe you go deeper. Maybe your body's telling you to back off. Taking hand to the back of the sacrum to press the hips forward might feel good. Good. Now both hands are going to meet at the back, fingers facing towards your heels, and it's right above your butt. So it's kind of, I wish I could remember the anatomical term, but not really, I'm right above your hip bones on the backside, right? So this time as you press through your hips, you can wrap your shoulders together, elbows are pointing towards the back of the room. Don't let your low ribs splay out, keep them connected. Lift your chin away from your chest, and just let the heaviness of your hands press your hips forward. It's not a lot, it's just a stretch. And nice and slow, bringing yourself back to center. Release your hands, release your feet. Undo your mat if you've had it curled under or curled over. And downward facing dog, toes under, hips to the sky. So a little longer of a warm up than we normally do. You just begin to pedal, finding some movement. Shifting hips from side to side. So we're just going to walk our hands forward, rolling ourselves into our high plank. And if you need to adjust your hands at all, you need to. And then I want you to slightly bend your knees towards the floor, press through your hands and hinge back into your downward facing dog. So you can roll forward, you can just glide forward, chin into chest, shoulders over wrists.
And as you exhale, bend your knees and press your hips back. One more time, inhale, roll forward. And exhale, hinge back. Lift your left leg up to the sky. Whoa, I have a shelf behind me, I always forget about it. Step your left foot forward. Soften into your hips, lift your heart. And as you exhale, step your right foot forward to meet your left. Good, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Upward mountain, press through feet, both arms reach up. And exhale, hands to your heart. So we're going to take your hands once again, right above the butt cheek, right at that bony little area. And just begin to press your hips forward, wrapping arms in, shoulders coming together, elbows pointing towards the back. Good, bend your knees and fold forward. Half lift and fold. Plant your hands, step back to your high plank, skipping chaturanga. Good. Roll forward just a bit, find your upward facing dog, hips low, heart high. And downward facing dog, extend back. Right foot reaches. And step forward. Hips low, heart high, let lunge, feel the hip flexor stretch. Standing split option for that left leg to lift to the sky. And both feet meet top of the mat. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Upward mountain. And hands to heart. Begin again, both arms reach up, look up. Swan dive as you bend your knees, weight into your toes, press the walls away, lead with your heart as you fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, down dog. All right, so we're gonna work a little bit of strength with just some one-legged stuff, not anything too crazy. I want you to roll forward, find yourself in your high plank. And then just lift your right foot from the mat, just an inch. Really good. Roll forward, find a one-legged upward facing dog with the left toes turned under. So you're pressing your hips back as your heart reaches forward. Take the right knee into your nose as you coil up and round. Good. Step the right foot through. Nice, high crescent pose, both arms reach up. And exhale, hands come behind your back. Step the left heel so that it's to the floor. So just turning the foot out, finding yourself in your warrior one. Setting up for our humble warrior, hips low, heart high. And as you exhale, right shoulder, yes, coming down inside, maybe, of that right knee. Gazing behind you. Noticing where the weight has shifted. Keep pressing the hips to the back of the room. Hands release to the back. Both arms reach up, warrior one. Exhale, plant your hands. Turn onto the ball of the left foot, and then simply step the right foot back to meet your left. You're in your high plank once again. So again, we float, left foot from the floor. As you roll forward, keep high on the ball of the right foot, lower the hips down, find that upward facing dog. Maybe you point the left toes behind you. Take the left knee into the nose as you press through your hands, round up into your knee to nose dog. And step left foot through. High crescent pose, both arms reach up. Exhale, hands to your low back. Spin the right heel down, step it out a little bit if you need to, adjust your base. Knuckles draw down. Imagine squeezing the shoulder blades together a little bit more, but then notice the ribs. So keep everything tight to the center, to the core. And as you exhale, hinge and fold into your humble. So humble, because it calls on a lot. It's a balance. There's a little bit of a back bend. A lot of a heart open. And an inversion. Hands to the back, warrior one, rise up. Exhale, both hands come down to the mat. Step your left foot back, meet your right high plank. Good. Both knees to the mat. Lower all the way down. Let your third eye rest on the floor. Take your shoulders, roll them away from your ears, elbows pointing to the back of the room. Baby cobra, press through your feet, heart lifts. Exhale, lower down. 2 more, breathe in. Exhale, lower. Last time we breathe, we squeeze, we hold for 3. Find the breath here, feel the movement. Heart lifts on inhale. Body settles on exhale. 1 more, maybe this time you float your hands. And lower everything down. Tabletop pose. And downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky. The right foot steps forward. Hips low, heart lifts. Left leg to the sky, standing split. Both feet meet, forward fold, top of mat. Hands to shins, half lift. And forward fold, you bow. Upward mountain, inhale. Right hand binds around left wrist, side bend over to the right. Come through center. Left hand, right wrist up and over to the left. Through center. Swan dive to fold. Half lift. Optional vinyasa, high to low push-up. Knowing you can always hold your high plank, soften knees down at any time. Down dog. Left leg to sky. Step forward. Low lunge. Standing split right leg. And both feet meet. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold. Upward arms. Hands to heart. We'll take a back bend. Interlace your hands. Find your Kali Mudra. Your Charlie's Angels fingers at your heart. Press through your feet. Press through your hips. Like your hands are right at that low spot on the back. So the back is going to start to bend. And then with the security of the low belly, the security of your legs, you might reach your arms. One more breath in. Bend your knees, swan dive to fold. Half lift. High to low push up. I'm going to skip it, head right to my down dog. That's always your other option. All right. Roll forward, high plank. Good. Open up to your Vinyasa. So heels soften over to the left. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Good. Now you feel the connection between your supporting arm and that lifted arm. Shoulders are still squeezing together. Now take your right arm by your ear. Find that crescent shape through your hips, lifting up higher. Good. Come back through center. Both toes or all 10 toes face forward. Right foot steps to the top of your mat. Beautiful. Hips low, you're gonna stay here. Left hand stays down, right arm sweeps up to the sky. So we're just building off of that flow a little bit. Take your right hand down inside of your right hand. Left heel spins to the floor. Left arm reaches up to the sky. You're in a deep side angle. We're gonna find that 2 more times. Left hand down, left heel lifts, right arm reaches. Good, close your eyes, right hand down, left heel down, left arm reaches. Really good, last time, breathe up. So this time we're gonna find ourselves in our warrior 2. So I want you to find your core connection first. Press through that right foot, keep the knees tracking out. Let the left hand reach you back as you lift. Your Vinyasa, your Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 2. Flip your palms, both arms reach up overhead, gentle. And exhale, warrior 2, double bend. Side angle. Soften your right elbow right on top of your right thigh. Flip the hand towards the sidewall and then left arm reaches bicep by ear again. Good. Reverse your triangle. Front leg straightens, reach up, breathe back. And exhale, side angle pose. Rebend into the right leg, left arm up to the sky. We'll take that one more time. Reverse your triangle. And side angle. Good. From your side angle, bring your left hand back down. Reach your right arm up to the sky. And then step your right foot back and find yourself in your half plank. So you can take any variation of this half plank as you'd like. Foot might step behind, keep your balance. Foot might come to the inside of your knee for a little tree variation. One breath in. Good. All 10 toes face forward. High plank. Lift the right heel from the mat. Soften your hips, find your one-legged upward facing dog with your left toes turned under. A little rocking, this should feel good through the low hips, through the belly. Right knee into your nose, coil in and round. And step back into your downward facing dog. Tabletop pose, in breath. Knees apart, heels together. Find your child's pose, send back. Hands walk over to the left. And hands walk over to the right. Come back through center. Tabletop pose as you glide forward. Good. And just step your feet back, find yourself in your high plank. So we're going to come into our second side of Vinyasa. So heels now soften over to the right, left arm reaches up towards the sky. Good. This is just your base. This is where everything starts from. And then come back through center, take your time. Good. Left foot steps to the top of your mat. Right hand stays down, left arm sweeps up. That easy crescent. Make sure you're checking in with the knee. That left knee isn't drawing out and away, it's staying pulled into your midline towards your belly. Left hand comes down inside of left foot. Deep side angle as the right arm reaches up towards the sky. We take that 2 more times. Right hand down, right heel lifts. Up and open, twist. Trying to keep the hips as even as you can as you move through this open hip to closed hip posture. Really good. So the last time in this deep side angle pose, the right arm is going to be our anchor into our warrior 2. So first I want you to check in with your feet. Make sure that back heel is pressing down and away, and your left ball of foot is securely into the floor. And then find your core and just begin to lift, squeezing our thighs together to come up into your warrior 2. Flip your palms, gentle warrior inhale. And warrior 2 release. Gentle inhale. And warrior 2. Side angle, left arm down, right arm up to the sky. So you can have that arm bent always. The connection between the elbow and the thigh, it can be there, but it's not a drop in, let all the weight hang down into your leg. There's still a lift out of your upper body. Press to the left leg, straighten out the knee. Reach up and back into your reverse triangle. Side angle pose. Maybe this time you reach left arm out, like you're serving something delicious. Maybe the arm reaches over by your ear. One more time, reverse your triangle. And side angle pose. Good, right hand's gonna come to the floor. Right hand will stay down. Right heel will spin over. So you're setting up for your Vinyasa, that left leg coming into whatever variation, modified or advanced. All 10 toes face forward. Both hands meet the mat. Float the left foot. Upward facing one leg, toes turn under. Good. Left knee into your chest, round. And both feet step to the back of your mat into your down dog. Lift up high onto your toes, bend your knees and send your gaze forward. Lightly step or float to the top of your mat and fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Reverse your eyes, breathe the sweep. And exhale, hands at your heart. Close your eyes. Check in with your breath. So our balance posture today is going to be eagle. I'm going to turn myself towards you. I'm going to find yourself in your hurdler pose. So securing down to that left leg. Right foot's just going to float. Circles to the ankle, hands at the hips. Slight bend in your left leg. Bring weight to the outer edge of your foot. And then just cross your right knee on top. Slide the ankle, the foot down by your side. Kickstanding your toes. So we're not looking for that double bind that we found in our crunch. And then both arms reach out. Good. So I want your right arm to reach up towards your ear, your left hand to come down by your hip. We're gonna find our cow face arms. Again, so double bend in the arms, both elbows bending in different directions. You might find that grass between your hands. So a perched eagle with our cow arms. Just begin to slide your hips back, round your chin into your chest, and feel that stretch through that whole back line of your neck. From the mid-back all the way up into the neck. And it's not a big bend, it's just a little shift of the hips. Good, take one more inhale. Lift your chin away from your chest. Right arm up by your ear. Good. Let right hand down by your side. Step your right foot out. And then side bend, left arm reaching up and over. Good, come back to your center. Switching sides, finding our hurdler on the second. And then sliding into our eagle. So there's a slight bend in both of the knees. Hips are pressing towards the back of the room. Take up as much space through your arms. Left arm to the sky, right arm down. Good. And then just a little bit more of a seat to feel the deeper stretch. Know that you can always stay right here. There's no reason to round in if that feels like too much today of the balance, calling on anything. Good. Nice and slow. Release the arms first. Keep them wide. Step the left foot out to the side, left hand comes down, right arm sweeps up and over. Good. Our final descent is going to be a shoulder rinse, forward fold, interlace your hands behind your back, draw your knuckles down past your tail. Heart lifts just for a little back bend. And bend your knees as you fold forward. Go ahead and shake out your head here. Hands to your low back. And hands underneath your shoulders. Good. Plant your hands and step your feet back, find your high plank. Good. And then soften onto your knees. Swing your heels around your seat, come onto your back. Have a block or blanket bolster near you if you need it for your legs up the wall. So on your back, I want us to first find happy baby. Tailbone is pressing towards the floor. Knees are coming in towards your armpits, and your fingers can come up either around your ankles. Sometimes my favorite variation of this is hands right behind your knees. And you notice the tailbone wants to lift. Gotta keep it flat to the floor. Or just a basic toe bind, whatever variation you like to find. And if movement in your happy baby, or I guess movement in your dead bug would like to create a happy baby, you can do that. And releasing the bind. Drawing knees back into center. Curl head, neck, and shoulders up.
And lower it down. Right ankle crosses on top of left thigh, setting up for your pigeon, or pivot pigeon on your back, pure form of stretch. Hands might interlace behind the left thigh, going as deep in this variation or any of these variations as your body likes to go. So if you like to extend the left leg towards the sky, walk your hands up towards your calf. Objective again, to keep tailbone and shoulders heavy to the mat. And then we'll switch, finding left ankle crossing over right. And we didn't get into bow today, but we have a couple more classes this week. We'll be working towards it. So fear not. But we'll take a variation of bow, which is bridge. Both feet come to the floor. So in your bow pose, in the full expression, when you're on your belly, your hands are bound around your ankles, right? And you're lifting your chest. I can't do it without being really stretched out. But so what this back bend is, essentially it's the same thing, just a different orientation, stomachs towards the sky versus stomach on the floor. So hands, I always like to find support through my triceps, feet through the floor, chin away from chest. You need to press through your feet, just lifting your hips. Notice if you're sagging your hips towards the floor, or if you're letting your belly get lazy, lift everything up, squeeze everything in through center. Now you could think if you extended your arms down and you had a lot of flexibility through that back, the hands and the ankles could be bound. Not today. Slowly begin one vertebrae at a time, starting at the top of your spine. Rolling yourself down, tailbone is going to be the last thing to hit. Okay. Bring your feet together. Let your knees splay out wide. Right hand will stay right at your navel center, floating above your belly button or slightly below. And left hand will just touch down onto your heart. And again, coming into your deep Ujjayi breath. This practice constantly changes our perception. We're moving in different directions, breathing in different directions. And what it's teaching, say, is that all of this movement and all of this connection is a step towards enlightenment, or a step towards fulfillment, a happy, healthy, joyful life. And that starts with changing our perception of self, what we're capable of, what we can show up for, the power we have within ourselves that so many factors over our lifetimes have whispered in our ears exact opposite, or external forces have started to shape us in ways that we don't even recognize ourselves. So as we move through and breathe through and peel back the layers closer to ourselves, our perceptions change. We start to believe in ourselves a little bit more. We start to believe the chatter, the chittaviti a little less. And we know that with the inhales and the exhales, that little space of safety in between, We are loved, and we are enough. Taking your hands outside of your knees, finding yourself in legs of the wall or any other variation of a inversion that you would like to take. And the legs can float up without any support. And just might require a little bit more breathing, a little bit deeper of the breath, connection to the core. And if you are floating your legs up without any bolster, block, blanket, or any sort of support, find a slight bend in your knees. Give yourself the favor, give yourself the permission to be here. Yoga Sutra 1.1, the first of many. And now yoga. And now the practice of yoga. And you can stop, drop in Yoga Sutra 1.1 anywhere in your life. It doesn't have to be on the mat. It should definitely be on the mat, but it should be practiced a little bit elsewhere in your life too. Just finding that moment in between your reaction, in between your decision making, in between any rash judgments. And now the practice of yoga. You can keep your legs lifted if that's comfortable for you, or you can slowly begin to lower down. Yeah. Taking your time. Sliding out into a warm pool. Totally supported. And there's a softening of everything. And the final tie, cut, severed. And you drift. Into the deepest places of your breath. Inhaling through the nose. Open mouth. Shavasana. And slowly begin to deepen your breath. Rocking the head from side to side. Wiggling the fingers. Both arms reaching overhead, a full body stretch. And knees into tight squeeze at your chest. Left to right side, fetal posture. As the head rests in the nook of the arm. Coming back into intention. Marking this moment as a new beginning. A comfortable seat at the top of your mat. Hands will rest at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And sitting as tall and as proud as you can. Thumbs guide its way to a third eye center. Where the light in me honors, respects, and witnesses the same divine love and light that shines deep within each one of you. Together in community we bow. Namaste.